What is going on, ladies and gents? Welcome to Collectors Gone Digital. My name is Josh, and on today's episode, we are going to be talking about different applications for VEVE Collectibles in sports. So yesterday, we had the VEVE account post Messi opening a Funko box. And just to be clear, he didn't actually do that. It was just a Photoshop piece. But I couldn't help but think that could be a teaser for sports dropping soon. And we know music and sports have already been confirmed for the future. Now, just a little FYI for you guys. I know I did say I was going to be recapping VEVE's recent Twitter space. I was hoping that it wasn't just going to be a short space, and that's exactly what it was. Little over an hour. Wasn't really much to recap for you other than just some Halloween drops, which you'll see via their announcements anyways. But all in all, if you didn't make it, you didn't miss much. So I thought we could talk about different ways our VEVE collectibles could be used with sports. So with that being said, we are talking about 11 applications. So without further ado, sit back, relax, and enjoy. So first on today's list is going to be stadium experiences. So NFTs can grant fans access to virtual stadium experiences, and think about doing this through VR. So we've seen individuals like Gary Vee already use NFTs as tickets. That ticket could allow you to enter a virtual arena where you could watch the game from your chosen seat and enjoy exclusive content. So we have actually seen this already happen with basketball games. So I did mention a virtual arena. Let's say the LA Lakers are playing over in Los Angeles. Obviously, I'm in Niagara. I'm not going to that game. But because I grabbed a collectible on VEVE with an exclusive offer, I can toss on a VR headset, click the promo link, right, or promo code that comes with that offer. And next thing you know, I'm sitting courtside at that basketball game over in Los Angeles in real time. Now, we've been talking a lot about Phigitals lately, and you can do the same thing with sports memorabilia. So things like signed jerseys, trading cards, they can be digitized and then sold as digital collectibles on the VEVE platform. But then you can also pair digital collectibles with a physical piece of memorabilia. So I was actually just on a VEVE Twitter space yesterday, and we were talking about, pieces of the turf from the field, or a signed bat or a signed ball. In fact, speaking of signed balls, at some baseball games, you'll actually find spots where they're selling kind of like their own form of blind boxes. So they have baseballs that are wrapped in like black paper, and you're either buying a ball that is signed and has a history behind it, or it's just a ball that they used in practice. So you would actually be able to transfer that exact same thing over onto VEVE. Next up, exclusive access. This one's kind of obvious, but NFTs can grant exclusive access to team events, right? Practice sessions, locker room tours, meetings with the actual players. We have actually already seen this happen with pieces on VEVE, right? I can't remember the exact piece, but oh no, it was the David Warhol 1-of-1 art, where if you happen to get that, then you got a dinner with David and I believe Al. I think he attended that as well. Now that 1-of-1 was an auction, and as you guys can see by the last point there, these experiences could be auctioned off or just sold directly to fans via a blind box drop. Think about experiences like if you go for a blind box on VEVE and you land the corresponding mint number with the player's jersey number, then you get to meet that player. That would be really cool. Not to mention the value of those now would correspond with the player's success. Now, if you guys aren't familiar with NBA Top Shot, this is a great example of what VEVE can do as well with various different sports on their platform, but providing different game highlights or clips. So these NFTs can represent exclusive rights to game highlights or iconic moments in the sport. Fans can then buy these NFTs and trade them, essentially owning a piece of the sport's history. Now they could represent statistical achievements or just kind of like what I said before, iconic moments. So maybe it's one of LeBron James' famous dunks, or maybe it's Steph Curry achieving a three-point stat. I think anybody who watches sports understands how deep of a rabbit hole the statistics world is. They track every little statistic you can possibly think of, and you would be able to use these statistics to introduce many different types of highlights or clips. Now, when it comes to fantasy sports, I'm going to make this one quick, but NFTs can be used to represent fantasy sports players or teams, so the performance of the real players could actually affect the value of these NFTs, kind of like what I said before, which creates a unique market that's always changing, kind of like stocks for a business, right? Little shout out to Dino. If anybody wants to get involved with that type of stuff, reach out to him. He's been involved with a fantasy sports league for a really long time, over 15 years, I think. Next up, you can get access to some season passes. So NFTs can serve as digital tickets and season passes, enhancing security and providing easy transferability. When I say enhanced security, I mean, you know, maybe not when it comes to season tickets, but I'm just thinking when it comes to concerts and stuff like that, people standing outside selling fake tickets. NFTs would completely eliminate all that. And then it also gives a chance for the fans to sell their NFT tickets to others down the line and make a profit from it. So I'll give you an example outside the sports world. Rolling Loud, which is a very popular concert, they announced their NFTs that give you lifetime access to their concerts. So for somebody who, you know, might be getting a little old now, doesn't really want to go to the concert anymore, they can sell that ticket and make some of their money back, if not a profit, depending on where things go with the business. But I think that would be a very cool use case for collectibles on VeVe, is if we do a blind box and you happen to land a secret rare, maybe that grants you entry into a raffle to get one of these tickets. Now, we did talk a little bit about Messi on the stream yesterday. The post that VeVe put out was a little bit of a troll, but for those that didn't know, Messi has actually already been in the NFT space. So athletes can release their own NFTs as a form of endorsement or engagement with their fan base. They could include personalized messages, limited edition merchandise, or exclusive content. And in Messi's case, I find this quite interesting because, you know, obviously he's a player that doesn't need money. And a recent example is him playing in the US versus the UAE. Obviously a big difference between the amount of money he's making now versus what he could have made over in the Middle East, and by a considerable margin as well. It was $1 billion plus contract offered by the UAE, and he's making a fraction of that in America. I would be interested to learn why he dropped these NFTs. I'm not convinced that it's for money. I'd lean more towards the engagement with his fan base, or maybe he's interested in the tech, I don't know. But his NFTs were actually dropped back in November of 2022, actually later than I thought it was, and he dropped them over on Eternity. And I did already mention it in a previous point, but just to highlight it briefly again, you know, let's say I go to buy one of these NFTs and it grants me exclusive access to an experience where I get to meet Messi. That experience alone would drive people to the platform. It's the brands that VeVe offers that would make them stay. Next up, another quick one here, charity and fundraising. The sports teams and athletes can create NFTs to raise funds for charitable causes, and then fans can support their favorite team's initiatives by purchasing these collectibles. I've said it before and I'll say it again, I think NFTs are a fantastic way and an easy way to raise money for charitable causes. So another application for collectibles on VeVe when it comes to sports is going to be training and coaching. So let's say VeVe drops a line of collectibles, and these collectibles provide you access to training sessions or coaching tips from professional athletes. I used to be an athlete myself. I would absolutely buy something on VeVe if I knew it gave me access to a private coaching session for my sport. Private coaching sessions were actually something that I already did. So what's better than tying it into collecting and getting a collectible on top of it as well? I got Floyd Mayweather on the right hand side there. Obviously his training sessions were big public news prior to his fights, and his gym in Vegas is still open to the public, so you'll still see cameramen in there filming people just training. So as a result of stuff like this, fans can learn from their sports idols through exclusive content, and that content being accessible through VeVe. And last but not least, we got player contracts. So if NFTs end up taking the shape that we all think they're going to, reshaping many different industries, NFTs can be used to tokenize player contracts. So this could include things like their salary, bonuses, or other contractual obligations. And then similar to what we said about how you can buy and trade things based off the player's success, same thing would happen here. You can buy and trade the NFTs based on how popular of a player they have or have not become. So again, I don't see this happening anytime soon, but NFTs are already taking their place in the sports space, so I think it's only a matter of time before NFTs evolve into something like this. Ladies and gents, that's going to conclude today's episode. I hope you enjoyed. Those are going to be 11 different applications for VeVe Collectibles in sports. Now, we do know that sports and music are going to be coming to VeVe, so I thought that in our next episode, we'd cover the same thing, but for music, different applications that VeVe Collectibles can be used for in the music industry. If you guys enjoy the content, make sure to like and subscribe. Comment down below what you want to see in a future episode. And as for our next, I'll catch you then.